Thanks, Kaz. Good evening. Welcome to this public meeting of the Princeton Board of Education. The board is an elected, unpaid group of 10 citizens who set policy and make decisions on educational, financial, and personnel matters for the Princeton Public Schools on behalf of all residents. We're always pleased when members of our community attend our meetings. The board and the school district operate under applicable New Jersey laws and under regulations of the New Jersey State Board of Education. Each meeting includes an opportunity for those attending to comment on items on the published agenda or other matters of interest to them. The board reserves the right to limit the time allotted to public participation. Law limits discussion of individual personnel and confidential matters. We hope our meetings provide useful opportunities for communication between the board and the community. Thank you for attending.
As required under the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 1046 et sequentia, adequate notice was given for calling this meeting. It was authorized by the Board of Education and forwarded to the Municipal Clerk, Princeton Packet, and the Trenton Times on January 6, 2024. It was also distributed to the schools and others on the standard distribution list. The board reserves the right to enter into executive session during all meetings of the Board of Education. Board Policy 168, recording devices, requires that we inform those attending this in-person meeting that the proceedings are being recorded. This meeting is being live streamed. The representative of the sending district is authorized to vote on such matters that affect sending district students or affect the governance of the Princeton Public Schools, as more specifically designated in NJSA 18A38.1. Sending district votes pertaining to personnel actions referred to high school, central administrative, and district-wide staff only. Votes otherwise are considered abstentions. In the event that the statute is amended, the law shall take precedence over this bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Bolden. Would you please call the roll?
Sure. Daphne Kendall.
Here.
Betsy Baglio.
Here.
Beth Barron.
Here.
Adam Bierman.
Here.
Debbie Bronfeld.
Here.
Mara Franceschi.
Here.
Eleanor Hubbard.
Here.
Susan Cantor.
Here.
Brian McDonald.
Present.
Rob Christopher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Bolden. Thank you, everyone, for attending our meeting tonight. Before we begin, we just wanted to take a moment to recognize the loss of 2023 PHS grad James Lee.
Good evening. I just want to say a few words about James. James was passionate about science, and I have a wonderful quote from one of his teachers that I think is good to reflect on tonight. James was one of those gentle souls who surprised us with his thoughtfulness and wisdom. We want to acknowledge the loss of James, and we also want to surround his family with love as they struggle through this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Foster. Moving on to the adoption of the minutes from January 30th. Can I get a motion? Debbie, second. Mara?
Daphne Kendall.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Betsy Baglio.
Yes.
Beth Barron.
Yes.
Adam Bierman.
Yes.
Debbie Bronfeld.
Yes.
Mara Franceschi.
Yes.
Eleanor Hubbard.
Yes.
Susan Cantor.
Yes.
Brian McDonald.
Yes.
Rob Christopher.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Bolden. Can I get a motion for the adoption of the minutes from February 6, 2024? Beth, second. Brian?
Daphne Kendall.
Yes.
Betsy Baglio.
Yes.
Beth Barron.
Yes.
Adam Bierman.
Yes.
Debbie Bronfeld.
Yes.
Mara Franceschi.
Yes.
Eleanor Hubbard.
Yes.
Susan Cantor.
Yes.
Brian McDonald.
Yes.
Rob Christopher.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Bolden. So good evening again, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for attending. We have a pretty packed agenda, so we'll move this along as quickly as we can. Before we begin, we also wanted to say a few words about Pat Ray, who was the drama teacher at Princeton High School, a longtime drama teacher who passed away in December. Debbie?
Thank you. Pat Ray was a beloved drama teacher at PHS for over 18 years. She retired in July 2018, and her last musical was Pippin. This was from a student that wrote to me. Miss Ray loved teaching and loved her students. She took us seriously and trusted us even when we didn't take ourselves seriously. There was never a boring day in her class. Miss Ray impacted so many students, whether in drama or orchestra or the Spectacle Theater Club, or simply students who just came to see her shows. She will be missed. Miss Ray was one of the teachers that made PHS special. She gave her students a freedom to express themselves through acting, singing, writing, and she loved to see them do it. For the musical and the drama plays, she went above and beyond her commitment as a teacher. But for me, the student, it was during the student-directed plays that she most celebrated us and let us shine. We will miss her dearly. Miss Ray would hate that anyone is giving a tribute to her, and that is why she deserves one. She was a teacher who pushed and nurtured her students and knew what they were capable of, even if they didn't.
Thank you, Debbie. And on behalf of the board, we want to extend our deepest condolences to Pat Ray's family. As a district, we're lucky to have teachers that have such impacts on children, and we're grateful for that. So thank you. So like I like to say, we're in the business of educating children, and we're all here for children. So I'm so excited tonight to first ask Ms. Sarah Moore, our elementary supervisor, to come on up to talk about the Scripps Elementary National Spelling Bee winners. And I understand we will not be quizzed tonight.
It's probably a good thing because some of these kids spelled words that would blow your mind.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us this evening. We're so excited to celebrate our Scripps winners. One of the best parts of my job is that I get to experience the joy and tenacity that students bring into the classroom every day. And this is an example of our student body who diligently studied and are not only wonderful academics, but even better friends and teammates to their peers. I can say that every winner here cheered on their classmates, was so gracious when they placed in the spelling bee. And we're just so very proud of not only your tenacity for learning, but your kindness to your friends and your leadership that you showed in the spelling bee. So proud of you. Let's call
call them up.
names.
Okay, so we have Theodore, Alan, Benjamin, Sophia, Pocky, Jeremy, Luwen, and Genevieve. Can you come on up? Do you want to shake our hand? Oh. All right. And then go back to Ms. Moore, because I have some questions. Congratulations. Congratulations.
All right. We wish them the best of luck when they head into the Diamond Regional B. Some of our friends are repeat winners that will go on for the second time to this B. So we are going to cheer you all on.
Okay.
As you enter into this next step.
So if we could just go from Ms. Moore's right to left, and if you could tell me your name and the word that you spelled.
You want to start that?
What do I mean by spelling?
No. What's the word that you won? That you won?
What word? The winning word.
The winning word.
I honestly don't.
Okay. It was too easy to leave an impression. Okay. And what's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Nice to meet you, Jeremy.
Sophia.
Sophia. Hi, Sophia.
I think it was photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. Ah. Okay. Sprocket. Okay.
My name is Benjamin, and I don't remember the weight.
Okay.
Everyone's asked me that except for 2 people.
Yeah. But I bet your mom knows. She doesn't now. All right. Who's going on to the next? Who is this a repeat year for? Who's been here before?
Our friends who are repeats are not here to.
They did not come.
Theodore and Pocky.
Theodore and Pocky. Okay. So you all are congratulations, first time. Don't forget about us. So if you win again, please come back, and we want to know and I'm going to ask you what the word is.
And could you tell us what grades you're in as well? All right,
All
you're
right.
all leaders of our elementary schools.
And
Congratulations.
so who's going on to the next round? Okay. All right. Well, we wish you all the best. And I think we want to get a picture with Miss Moore. Yes, Mrs. Moore and the winners. What beautiful backdrop. Should we have them come over here? All right.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Yeah. That's great.
And then I'm gonna have Miss Moore email the parents, because if you're a parent like me, I know you want that too, that picture. We will email it out.
Congratulations.
And I know it is almost 8 o'clock, so if you would like to go on towards bedtime, we completely
Does
understand.
that go
Thank
for
you
us
so much.
too?
I mean, 8 o'clock bedtime, it's,
I know.
restful.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mrs. Moore. So I'll just give people a second. All right, and then next up on the my report is the student MSAN report, and that's MSAN stands for Multicultural Student Achievement Network.
I'm gonna introduce you guys, so come on up. I know you're. Probably put my mic on. So MSAN, in case folks in the audience don't know, the district has been an MSAN partner for over a decade. I believe it started in 2012 here in our district. And really it's about racial equity in schools and how we can do more to support racial equity in schools. It's housed in Wisconsin, and this group of students here got to go on a conference there, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. It also has leadership opportunities for staff to learn more, and also membership throughout the year, different sessions and check-ins besides a student conference. We have a club at the high school, which is led by Ms. Angie. And we are going to really talk about the student conference. It's the first time it's been back since COVID. And so one of the tasks of the conference for students is an action plan. And so these students are going to talk about their action plan. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. They had very busy schedules. We had some varsity basketball last month that, coincided with this. So we just really appreciate everybody's time. So thank you so much. And Ms. Sadiq for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Tu. So I just wanted to kick off and just introduce myself. My name is Bethany Andrade Sadiq. I'm the coordinator of student services, and I have the pleasure of being the advisor for MSAN. So many of these students have been a part of MSAN since I started at PHS their sophomore year, and some even started as early as middle school. So I'm just really honored and proud to see them do their thing, and I will pass it to Lena to kick us off with the introduction.
Hi, so MSAN is very proud to present Tiger Talk as part of our 2024 action plan. You can go to the next slide, please. So hi, my name is Lena Hamilton. I am a junior, and I am our social justice project coordinator, as well as the president of Pulse, and I am currently enrolled in AP Lang and AP World History.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Sheena Ash. I am a junior as well. I am the co-president of MSAN, and I am currently in AP World History and AP Lang.
Hello, my name is CJ Foreman. I'm a senior at Princeton High School, and I'm the co-president of MSAN as well. And I got admitted, and I'm going to Seton Hall University for IT management.
Hi, my name is Justin McLeod. I'm a junior, and I also am the social media manager of the MSAN network, and I am currently enrolled in AP World History.
Hi, my name is Chance Robinson. I'm currently a senior at PHS. I'm just a regular member of MSAN, and I'm currently accepted to Kane College and in the process of going there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Figueroa. I'm a senior in PHS. I'm a part of peer group. I am the recruitment manager for MSAN, and I am between Temple University and Seton Hall for civil engineering.
Hello, my name is Rossini. I'm a senior at PHS, and I'm also a regular member of MSAN.
Next slide, please. So what is MSAN? MSAN stands for the Multicultural Student Achievement Network. MSAN is a coalition of diverse school districts that has come together to understand and eliminate opportunity gaps that persist in schools. The MSAN chapters across the country make up around 3,000 to 3,300 students. And the districts share a history of high academic achievement and connections to major research universities like Princeton University. Princeton Public School District has been a member of MSAN since 2002, and Princeton was the host of the 2004 Student Conference.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
In November, we went to Madison, Wisconsin. Yes, Madison, Wisconsin, and we went to the 2023 National Students Conference. The theme for the conference was "You Belong." We had the chance to connect with over 300 of our fellow MSAN leaders from around the country and learn, network, and share ideas. We experienced great speakers, including MSAN founder Dr. Alan Olson and motivational speaker Dr. Dyer, who led an emotional charged presentation encouraging us to live purpose-driven lives. We had the opportunity to tour the University of Wisconsin, and we ended the conference with a party, which was one of my favorite parts of the trip. What I really valued about attending the MSAN conference was the opportunity for students like me that don't see themselves represented often to connect with like-minded student leaders of color who take AP classes and have big plans for their future, but often feel a lack of belonging in their school community. The theme of "You Belong" was felt throughout the entire presentation, and we built a community, we learned, we partied, and most importantly, we felt empowered to make a difference in our school.
Next slide,
Next
please.
slide.
Thank you. So about our belonging project. So while we were at the conference, we talked a lot about different ways that we could be co-conspirators in our environment and how that we can lift one another up and create some new project that would benefit our school community. And so prior to attending the conference, MSAN had asked us, each school delegation, to create that social justice project that could be presented at the conference and later implemented in our school. And so Ms. Sadiq had brought us together for several planning meetings, and we discussed ideas of how to create this inclusive platform where activities and achievements of students could be highlighted with an emphasis on highlighting diversity groups and clubs such as Latinos Unidos, Girl Up, Pulse, Asian American Club, etc. And after researching what other schools are doing in nearby communities, Chance had actually suggested that we create a short TV show, TV show podcast, and collectively came up with the name Tiger Talk, which the next slide will tell you about. So Tiger stands for talking about inclusivity, greatness, and equitable relationships at PHS. And ultimately, the goal of this would be to interview culture clubs and create a space to celebrate multicultural students, which we've already kind of started now. We were started to go around the school interviewing students about their experiences in the school and some of their like cultural knowledge, and just to find a fun way of connecting and seeing the cool diversity in our school. And so why is this important? So since Princeton is predominantly white, it's especially the high school, it's important that we make our multicultural students feel seen and like a part of their community. So Tiger Talk will hopefully achieve this goal. Yeah. So yeah, here's the, we're not yet.
Oh, the video is
Are
not
we doing
showing
video?
up, guys.
Uh-oh.
Did something happen to it? It's not here.
We
at the
have
bottom.
it on the slides. Uh-oh.
Wait, can you show her the most updated one?
But yes.
On the most updated slide.
Is this the preview? Or wait, y'all, is this the preview or the full?
That's the preview.
Great. Yeah, amazing.
Trailer.
If you go to the most recent email that I sent, okay, it's not the same.
So just a couple of.
Okay, I'll upload, I guess. I haven't seen this in there.
That's fire.
I'm sorry, Chip.
Just trying to because I see the share.
Oh my Chance.
I'm just doing some.
Y'all don't even look at us.
I'm seeing this might be, see if this looks any different.
Oh my God.
It's the same, but hold on. No. Okay. 1 second, everyone. Thank you for your patience.
Do you want to talk about the recording process? How they get it up?
I know. Yeah.
Wait, did y'all go?
Oh, fine. Where does it say that?
While they're trying to find that, how many of you had never been to Wisconsin before? Okay, so my son always wanted to go to Wisconsin for the cheese. So, did you have cheese curds there?
Yes.
You did.
I actually, so at the airport, they had
At the
a lot
airport.
of cheese. And I'd actually brought my mom back some of the cheese. And I also brought her back, they have this certain candy called pig's poop. And it's pig, but it's like chocolate covered like peanuts. It's really good. Yeah, and it's really, I'm sorry, that's totally awkward. But I was surprised because Wisconsin is known for cheese and they have really great like pig poop. So
Well, that's good to know.
yes, and no, we also like did actually like tour the campus of Madison UW. Sorry, I know you're gonna see the video, but it's
No, it's okay.
that's fine. We want to
all
hear.
right, great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
All right, so I'm going to play the video now. Hopefully that works.
I hope you enjoy.
Uh-oh. No sound. I think because I'm air streaming, right? Is that why? Yeah. Nope. Watch.
Can you guys repeat for us?
Reenact it. It was actually
Hold on, we're getting some technical assistance right now from Matt.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, something also cool about UW was we got like 3 different tours about the campus, and I know Henry and I went, so like not everybody that's here now went, but I know Josh went, Justin went, Chance, you were there. Were you there? CJ was there. Sorry, I excluded you. But I was also there. It was a really great experience. We had teamed up. We were in rooms together. We met a lot of different kids at the conference, and we ended up going to a bunch of different groups. So like, while some of us are interested in like computer science and like technology, some of us went to like more art oriented and like engineering oriented groups. So like the college really was like accommodating for each of our specific like interests, and they paired us off really well. So I thought that was cool.
And was it cold there?
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was freezing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said like, oh, you should come during the wintertime because the whole lake is freezed over. The kids are ice skating. Okay,
Here.
great.
All right, so
Yeah.
I can put the mic here for
Yeah,
the
we can
quickest
put the mic,
fix.
yeah.
That'll be the quickest right now.
Okay. We're going to kind of make do. We're going to put the mic by the speakers of my laptop, and then the folks at home, it will be streamed because Cass has it playing. So everyone at home will be able to hear, okay?
Awesome.
Hello, PHS. Welcome to Tiger Talk.
Happy
And
Black History Month and Lunar New Year. In today's segment, we're going to be interviewing PHS students and staff to see how informed they are on Black history and Black cultures.
Black history is often portrayed to be strictly African or African American, although there are loads of Black culture throughout the world, and that is something we want to emphasize.
We already have a diverse set of Black ethnic groups in the school. Now, let's see how much of our fellow students know about Black history. Throw it to the hallway trivia. Are you with?
Ari.
All right, who am I here with?
Ali. Hi, and we're here with Anya. So I'm here with Charlene Cazo. Okay.
All right. Who's your favorite Black artist and why do you like them?
Beyonce, because I've just loved her ever since I was little.
Who's your favorite Black artist and why do you like them?
Rihanna, because she makes good music. Who is your favorite Black artist and why do you like them? It's honestly an interesting question, but I'm gonna have to say The Weeknd, just because he has good music. So, who is your favorite Black artist and why do you like them?
A Black artist. Who should I say? I'm really into music, and this might be controversial, but I do like Beyonce.
Would you say that PHS is participating highly in Black History Month this year?
Yes,
Why?
because the staff are really supportive and let us be creative and stuff for the assembly.
Would you say that PHS is participating highly in the Black History Month this year?
Yes,
Why do you think so?
because they're doing like an assembly and a whole bunch of things, and we're doing an interview right now.
And would you say that PHS is participating highly in Black History Month this year? And if not, why?
I would agree that they are. They have daily announcements talking about the history of Black history. So I'd say that's pretty participative.
And
But this is the best part.
Okay, so our next steps and future belonging projects. Tiger Talk's next steps were from Miss Sadiq, actually. She wanted to further our education in video production, so she arranged for us to have a meeting and tour with an advertising executive from BET and Viacom. And additionally, to continue building a sense of belonging, the students of MSAN would like to see the following: PPS support of creating media platforms for students with an emphasis on inclusivity, PPS support to enhance cultural education by developing an AP African American and Latino Studies elective course at PHS. And also PPS to create a strategic plan specifically around increasing recruitment and retention of educators of color and bilingual educators / counselors. And a quote from Latoya Holiday, the MSN executive director: there is no greater current challenge in education than creating schools where each and every student feels like they belong and can thrive.
So we would just like to thank everyone for all of your support. A special thanks to Ms. Sadiq, our amazing advisor. Thanks to another thanks to Mr. Johnson, our vice principal, and then and then a thank you to all of our conference sponsors and supporters. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. That was very interesting and also entertaining. So I guess if there's, one thing that you would want us to know about the culture at Princeton High School and things we could do to make it better, what would that be?
culture. Could you possibly reword that a little bit?
Yes, Sheena, I will.
Sorry. Sorry.
Thank you. I might ask you to sing though, but all right.
Oh my gosh.
No, I won't. So, over the years, we've heard that the culture might not be as welcoming to Black students of color as it should be. And I have to tell you, I was surprised when you were asking about Black History Month and everyone said that the high school seemed to be celebrating it. So is there anything that we can do or anything that you would like to see done to improve the culture at Princeton High School, or has it gotten better?
I would say that the culture at Princeton High School has definitely improved since my time here, although I would say that's largely due to being around teachers and counselors who are very supportive of what we wanted to do. For example, the assembly, we haven't had an assembly in a very long time for Black History Month. So it was really great having administrators behind us to support us in planning these types of events throughout Black History Month and then outside of Black History Month, so that Black students feel like they have a safe space to share their voice and contribute to their school community.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And is there anything, I'm sure other people have questions too, but is there anything that you would like to leave us with tonight to think about? And you can always email us too. If you want to do it publicly.
Right. I think one big thing is that diversity and representation and inclusion is always going to be an ongoing process. It's not something that we can just do in a day. It's also about students feeling seen, and that's probably going to be a gradual thing. Like, you can hire more Black teachers and staff, and you could incorporate more of Black dialogue into our curriculum. But at the end of the day, students have to feel like they're being seen and heard. So I think a big thing is just getting more of us to speak and come out and feel comfortable and safe. I guess representing ourselves and saying hey, this is what we need, because this is a very select group of students. And Ms. Sadiq really pulled us out because we're dedicated to school. We love our school. But it's hard when a lot of our friends and our our fellow students of color don't really feel as seen in our school environment. So I don't want to sit here and speak for everybody, but I will say, like, on behalf of us, like, I feel like there's definitely a lot of improvement that's coming, but I can see that the district is making a step in the right direction. So thank you all.
Well, we appreciate that, and we're glad to hear it, because it has been a focus for a long time. But you have our emails. If something comes up and you think there's something that we should be aware of, or we can make better, just let us know, please. Thank you so much.
And I'm also going to jump in and just say we love to hear from students at our meetings. You're welcome at any of our meetings, any of our public meetings. We always have public comment time. And if we know there are students, they're going to go right to the top so that you can, go home and have more time for homework. But please just, or fun or anything that you might want to do. Or sleep. Sleep is important. But I would say, I just want to thank you so much. Hearing from you is really meaningful for us, and we're really proud of all of you and your teacher as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to give another shout out to Bethany Sadiq, because you are all leaders, but Miss Sadiq is modeling leadership by really getting you active, and not only getting you active in school, but taking you on the road as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Foster. So now we are moving on to item F1, which is the revised 23-24 school calendar. And would you like to say a word or two about that, please?
Yes, I would.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It is my fault. It's all my fault. So I want to say there is it. I caused the snow. Yeah. So I want to say there is such value in changing one's mind. And so, yes, hence the 2023-24 calendar is being revised again. And we hope for in a positive way. So sometimes changing your mind means listening. And we listened well to staff concerns, parent concerns, family concerns about taking the spring break, the Monday of the spring break away. And so we really looked at our calendar high and low and searched. And what we have decided to do is to have school on June 4th, which is a primary day. And there are elections held in the 4 elementary schools. However, we did the research as far as the number of citizens who actually physically show up on that June day to vote. And we feel with extra security and building monitors, we can secure a place for polling as well as have school in session so that we can give back, at least for now. And hopefully, we'll have a really mild rest of the winter, but we can give back that Monday of spring break to families. If this is approved tonight, we will send out a communication tomorrow morning to all families to let them know of this decision.
Thank you, Dr. Foster. I would like to add that we are in discussions with the mayor, and he's looking to help us move voting out of the schools so that, just for safety reasons, we feel other districts have done it, and it's something that we've been talking with him about for a while. So we're hopeful that that can be done. It has to be done relatively, I think, by April 1st. Is that right? And so we're hopeful on that. So that we are still working on that. In the meantime, we'll have school on June 4th. And if you could also just clarify. So I think there was a thought that if we had 3 snow days, then we could shift to remote learning, but that is not correct.
That is not correct. And I confirmed it today because I did want to have that in the back of our pocket. It is 3 days, but it has to be 3 consecutive days in the calendar. So that would be, as an example, if you remember Hurricane Sandy, Storm Sandy, where there were multiple days out. You don't remember that?
No, he does.
Oh, you don't. I'm sorry to bring up. Yeah. But that's an example, or a massive snowstorm that would require the school to close for 3 consecutive days.
Thank you, Dr. Foster. And I'll just say that we hadn't had snow in 2 years. And then you came here and it's just snowing. So please stop. Yeah, we're good. We're good. All right. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to your report.
So I'm going to turn my report this evening over to Dr. Tu, who is going to talk about our DLI lottery.
Good evening again, everyone. So as we talk about long-term planning in our district and future growing enrollment, we work really closely with our district demographers, and our long-term planning committee really takes thoughtful considerations as we talk about population shifts in our town and what to do to support them. So one of the things that we talked about is we keep moving toward sort of some coalescing around the idea of expanding Community Park, expanding Littlebrook, and expanding the middle school. That's sort of the three main touch points in this larger referendum that we're still, contemplating and discussing. The demographers have said, and we have shared with the architects, the plan of having 2 DLI classrooms and 2 traditional classrooms per grade at CP, with possibly a third buffer classroom if needed in case enrollment grows, and because CP is a huge catchment zone. So as we work with the demographers for short-term planning, one of their recommendations is that we start capping at 2 sections now, because we sort of have these odd triads in some of our grades at CP. And it's a big burden on the teachers because they're crossing grade levels. It's sometimes they're teaching, I partner with Daphne and with Kathy. It's a lot of coordination and not a lot of common planning time. So we have said that if we're capping at 2 sections, that's 44 students, 22 students a section. And so that we would probably need to have a lottery system. I believe it was before my time here when DLI was first brought about, we did have a lottery system. This is very similar to that, but also has a couple of tweaks because things have changed in the interim of time that has happened. And so we currently have about 52 students in our DLI program at Community Park, 6 of them being staff students. So this sort of does match the need. We just don't have large kindergarten classes across our district. We tend to have families move in later in the elementary years to our district, and we have higher classes and class sizes in like 3rd to 5th grade and up. Our K-1 numbers are extremely low compared to the other class grades. So we feel, at least for the interim, that 44 is a very solid number and might not even be needed as a lottery cap this year. We kind of have said sometimes when you put a cap on something, human nature means there's more demand for it. And so that's why this lottery system will be in place and is being discussed tonight. So there's 2 sort of layers to the lottery system, and you'll see here, and this is attached in the board agenda. We are placing students before a lottery in some situations. So we currently have a pre-K DLI program at Community Park. Students who are in that program will be rolled up first and will take seats if they want them at Community Park and continue their DLI program. That's about 13 to 15 students if all take us up on that offer. Younger siblings of resident students who are already in the program will also get sort of first dibs because we want families to be able to practice language at home and to have that support in, having all the siblings at one school versus split schools. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic here. The next is that we will prioritize students who are zoned for Community Park, because the goal would be, as we look at long-term planning, kind of keeping folks in their original catchment area, so that if they have an interest in DLI and they live in CP, they would be placed before the lottery as well. And then historical trends have shown that the last week of August or so, we tend to have more students register late who are Spanish heritage speakers. So we are reserving 5 spots of the 44 to have those late registrants who speak Spanish, because the goal in the program is to have heritage English speakers and heritage Spanish speakers. That's the goal of the program. So after sort of those slots are taken, the balance of the slots will be lotteried. If we have more than 44 or 39 really interested in it, then we'd have a lottery to begin with. And I'm kind of going through this fast, but the outline is sort of here, and I'm happy to take any questions from the community, and you can email me at kimberly2@princetonkay12.org. So at the lottery, each student will receive a random number. Twins will be treated as one application. So if you have twins who are interested, they'll share that number, and then both children will be accepted. And then we will be doing the lottery on May 1st. We feel that gives a little bit more time. We know there's still interest sessions happening at CP right now. There was one tomorrow. There's one on the 25th to show that their parents' interest in DLI. And then once again, this is for those who want to commit to the DLI program. Students in the CP catchment zone who do not want to do DLI can still opt out and then will be placed at another school across the school district. Okay, so I would, if the board has any questions, happy to answer any of the following.
Thank you, Dr. Tu. I have a question.
Yes.
And I appreciate all the work and thought you and your colleagues have put into this. By what date will families know if they're in the DLI program, if there is a lottery?
If there is a lottery, May 1st, they will know. Yes. And then if there's a wait list, so say that, 39 slots have been taken and we're holding those 5, it'd probably be by August 23rd because we really need to determine class sections and teachers and things like that.
Right. So kindergarten orientation is in the spring. So what happens to children who were on the wait list and then get in? Will there be another orientation for them?
That's a good question. I think this is something we haven't fully contemplated with these change in procedures, but yes, I would assume that we would have another. We would either delay CP's orientation until later in May and then have something the last week of August for folks who are switching into it. Yes.
Thank you.
And I also want to say, I'm sorry I didn't say this. This is a temporary stopgap. It might be tweaked next year. It might be tweaked the year after as enrollment changes and things like that. So this is for the kindergarten class of 2024-25. This is not for upper classes at the elementary level. Kids who are in the program are in the program. We're not changing anything. This is just for the incoming kindergarten students in September.
Thank you, Dr. Tu. Any questions? No? All right. So we're moving on. We have an acceptance of a donation, a piano. This will be part of the consent agenda, but we want to thank PHS alumni Mohawk Matre and Joy Deep.
Action item on the DLI.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Moving
No,
back
good.
to the DLI. Can I get a motion? Mara, second Debbie. And we're voting on the protocol. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Daphne Kendall?
Yes.
Betsy Baglio?
Yes.
Beth Barron?
Yes.
Adam Bierman?
Yes.
Debbie Bronfeld?
Yes.
Mara Franceschi?
Yes.
Eleanor Hubbard?
Yes.
Susan Cantor?
Yes.
Brian McDonald?
Yes.
Rob Christopher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well,
Good.
all yeses are abstentions.
What are no's?
We all supported it.
Yeah. Well, but thank you.
Excellent.
We appreciate it.
Glad I could help.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Bolden, you're all set. All right. And the next item is a consent, and we just want to thank PHS alum Mohawk Matre and Joy Deep Banerjee for Yamaha U3 vertical piano, which is going to be donated to Princeton Middle School, and we are very grateful and appreciative of this generous donation. Moving on now to our student board members report. Sorry, gentlemen, it's been a long evening already, but we can't wait to hear what you have for us.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Alex and I are, as always, happy to be here, even on a Tuesday night. For tonight's report, we'll share a few exciting updates from PHS alongside some feedback that we've gotten from the student body at large.
Definitely. We'll start with some good news. The Princeton High School girls swim team became sectional championships after defeating Manasquan. Not sure how to pronounce the opponents, unfortunately, but in the NJSIAA tournament last Thursday. The team remains illustriously undefeated. PHS is home to, a really special swimming program, and it's really exciting. What they're accomplishing and have been accomplishing.
The success of the girls swim team reminds us of how many talented individuals fill our hallways and how education and school success doesn't just end at the final bell.
Of course, plenty of impactful activities do happen during the school day. This Thursday, PHS will hold a Black History Month assembly, which, as the students from NSAN pointed out earlier tonight, is an important step towards building a school community that celebrates their diversity and values classrooms that are enriched by a variety of backgrounds and viewpoints.
We should also note that after winning both a regional tournament and a subsequent runoff round, PHS's Ethics Bowl team qualified for the national tournament. Additionally, our studio vocal and studio band collectives played first and second, respectively, at the National Jazz Festival competition.
Exciting stuff, Oliver. In other news, as PHS heads into a third quarter, the busiest quarter by most metrics, we'd like to take a moment to talk about our guidance office and the important role that they play at our school. Despite managing hundreds of students in all areas of our lives, our guidance officers managed to pull it off. It's super impressive, and we really appreciate it.
One of the things, however, is with each counselor responsible for several hundred students, it's often difficult for students to meet with their counselors face to face.
Indeed. One thing that Oliver and I think might be helpful and that we've heard from a lot of students could be helpful is offering clear open hours during counseling services so that students can meet with their counselors more easily and more frequently. Although many counselors are happy to meet with their students at any time during the school day, we technically need to make an appointment beforehand and then check in. And it would certainly be helpful to hear more directly from the school administration that meeting with a counselor is not only helpful, but also easy and something that's being, actively encouraged and fostered, even though obviously it already is, right? It's not like they're pressuring us not to go to counselors in the status quo.
Separately, as Emerson pointed out this evening, with students speaking dozens of languages and coming from various backgrounds, it's important to make sure that all students feel supported, regardless of their background. PHS guidance has offered a lot of help through affinity support groups such as the Asian American Support Group. I know that with 7 counselors, not every student's experience will be represented with 7 people, but I hope that the district continues its efforts to hire teachers, staffers, and counselors from a variety of backgrounds, experiences, and histories to help better support our students. In addition, I hope that PHS can work to continue to build these affinity groups that I've previously mentioned to help better support everyone.
Certainly. It seems as though PHS is on the right track in terms of getting all of its students involved. And we hope that when it comes to diversity and equity, PHS continues to prize it in both intra and extracurricular contexts. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that report, and go girls swimming. With regard to counseling, do you think there's a need that isn't being met right now?
I think actually something we're talking about with Ms. Burge and Mr. McMichael, who's the director of counseling, I think next week, is a bit about college counseling services. And it's something that I've thought a little bit about, especially with career guidance, because I know there's a lot of opportunities outside of school that are really good in the sense that they're sometimes paid and they're mostly free, but often a lot of students don't really know about them. So last year I was really lucky to participate in the lab learning program at Princeton University. And despite it being under a mile away, I didn't really hear about it until my 3rd year here. So I was, one thing I was thinking about and talking about is kind of helping students find these opportunities so they better understand what careers they want to pursue and what they're interested in.
Yeah. As a whole, the counseling department at PHS is a really strong department and a department that's really committed to the students, and we really appreciate that. And we just feel as though sometimes maybe it can be hard for students to realize that you really can just stop by and talk to your counselors. And sometimes it can feel as though when you enter the counseling suite and they're like, oh, do you have an appointment? You need to sign in, you need to, jump through some of these hoops. It might be more helpful to have a more direct way to talk to your counselor, or at least to, incentivize students to email them and get in touch, because there's such great people working there who are really, really helpful for the student body at large.
But do you really read your emails?
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
Not you. I meant your generation.
Yeah.
Because our generation is big on email.
Yeah. We're smaller on emails, admittedly, but I believe in the PHS students' body ability to figure out their inbox situation.
Yeah. Well, if you look, so they don't want you texting your counselor, but it's against board policy. But if there's another we're behind, right? So we don't know things like what you just said. bring that up in the conversation. Are there better ways for the adults to communicate?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that's really interesting to think about, and maybe not something we have an answer to right now outside of the emails that already exist. But we'll think and we'll talk to PHS students.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate that you check your emails.
Do our best.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, now, and we're moving on to our first public comment on any item. First, we have Amy Lynn. Is Amy Lynn here?
I'll actually be going up with my friend
Emma. Okay,
You can cross this book off.
you got it.
Okay, thank you so much for having us. We're going to talk about something that might come up later in the agenda, but because we're high schoolers, we have a busy night tonight.
I'm sure you do.
A lot of homework, so thank you for understanding. So we'd like to talk about something in regards to Mr. Ferguson. Well, we'd just like to say a few words about him, a few appreciative words. So I feel like I speak for a lot of people, and I want to also represent the voice of a lot of people when I say that Mr. Ferguson was actually a really great teacher, despite some recent things that might have gone around the school. But I just wanted to say that he really puts a lot of passion into our classrooms, and I think that we should really recognize that and consider that. So I remember, like, as soon as I stepped into his math class, I really felt like this safe environment, because he was really actually encouraging me to speak about what I was passionate about in math, instead of like the typical person talking too much in math class and everyone else is getting bored. Like, he didn't make me feel like that. And that was really exciting. And another thing I wanted to point out is that he really he does things outside of just his paycheck or his salary. I remember last year for the AP Calc BC exam, he actually organized, and for his AB class, he organized a test on a Saturday morning, because, like, that's the only time we can schedule it outside of school. But he was like, oh, why don't we go to the middle school? I'll bring like this big stack of like 80 tests. I'll even bring food. So that just we can practice and we can review. And I thought that that was really unique, because no teacher had ever done that for us. And I just wanted to say that I hope we can like recognize all the good things he's done for us. There's always two sides to things. And in this case, I feel like the good side of him is also very, very strong, as I'm sure other students would also agree. Anything else to add?
Yeah, we also wanted to mention that the math club at PHS will be opening up to peer tutoring and offering help for anyone that may need help with understanding any materials or concepts, or help with their homework after school on Wednesdays in room 232 or 237, depending on room availability.
For context,
Yeah.
we're the PHS math team captains, or two of them out of the three. That's and we like to say, like, if you ever need help, like there's resources, including us, and I feel like people tend to forget about us. But I feel like one of our goals as we applied to become captains last year was to make math like a more friendly environment, because like as girls in math, we know how like it can be toxic sometimes. So we also just wanted to like make sure we have that opportunity, instead of like people getting like frustrated at math and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. Is there anyone else for public comment? Oh, come on up. Just say your name, the street you live on. And I have to add this now, but please direct your comments to the board and not the audience. Things
It's
have
so
changed,
nice to
Michelle.
see you all.
So nice to see you, Michelle.
I'm Michelle Tuck Ponder, Laurel Circle, and I'm here on behalf of Princeton Parents for Black Children. And we are delighted to announce that PBPC is accepting applications for the Shirley Satterfield Scholarship Fund. This has been a long time coming. And as my former colleagues are aware, this has been sort of a really important issue for me about the accessibility of extracurricular and curricular activities for students who face financial barriers. And so the scholarship fund will have an application. Well, let me start by saying it's named after Shirley Satterfield, who is a Princeton legend. She was an influential guidance counselor for 13 years at PHS. She is the founder of the Witherspoon Jackson Historical and Cultural Society. And she is just an amazing woman, and we're very honored and excited that this fund is named after her. So, as you know, this fund has been a long time in coming, very, very important. We're going to have the trip to Washington in April for middle schoolers, which is exciting news. It's $175. There's a lot of people in our community who can just write a check or carry around $175, and there are a lot of people who can't. And so the scholarship fund stands ready to support those families and those children who want to participate not only in this trip, but also in sports and in all other kinds of activities. And with saying that, if anybody's watching or anybody sitting at the table would like to donate, they should visit our website, which is PBB PrincetonParentsForBlackChildren.org. So we'll take donations there, and we'll be doing fundraising over the next few months. But this is a really exciting opportunity for the community to give back and support all of our students and to ensure equity. So that's number one. The second thing I wanted to ask about was I thought the MSAN presentation was amazing and fabulous, and I think it does great things for kids. And my question is there funding for that trip included in next year's budget? And I know it's not a Q&A, but that's my question. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go home and watch Abbott Elementary. Bye.
Thank you, Michelle. I guess quickly, Dr. Chu, so I think it was mentioned in the presentation by the students that MSAN, the district has been a part of MSAN since 2002. And so there's an annual trip. Could you just maybe just go over briefly how the district supports MSAN?
Sure. So there's membership fees. So as the students shared, there's school districts across the nation that are a part of this consortium. And with that becomes certain resources and meetings throughout the year that are virtual, but then also a student conference in the fall. So with our membership fees, the students' registration is free, but obviously the district then takes on the cost of lodging and travel. And then in the spring, there is a conference for educators, more administrators and leaders, but we've sent our dean of students. We've sent Andrea Dinan, Dr. Dinan 1 year. We've sent various staff members who have different roles, community liaisons. And so it's sort of costs throughout the year. So I thought it came with Judy Wilson, but it sounds like it predated even her, which is amazing. I would love it to come back to Princeton or Boston or Baltimore because it is sort of a trek to get kids to Wisconsin because when you fly to the international airport there, it's still an hour-and-a-half drive to get them to the campus, which I hear is beautiful. They didn't seem to mind too much. I know they had a great experience. And we also fund the club. So that's a newer EPES, so that we have the advisor position to help sort of orchestrate everything and organize everything as well. So it's a good investment. And one of the things that I want to follow up with the students on is there were a lot of juniors and seniors. I want to make sure they're recruiting freshmen and sophomores. You know?
So, and I should have asked them, but I asked a lot of questions. So there were 8 students here tonight. Do you know what the membership is?
I don't think it's that much bigger than
Really?
that. Mr.
Okay.
Ponder, is it 20? Yeah.
20.
Mhm. Yeah. They're sort of the senior leadership team, I would say,
Okay.
and the sort of the dedicated members that come around. But yeah, I would say about 20. Yes.
And the membership fee the district pays covers all the students.
Yes,
yes.
the registration and
Okay.
everything like that. And then we have separate funds to pay for the trip to Wisconsin for the conference.
And then we have an extra pay for extra service
Yes.
position.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the registration fee a year?
For the membership fees?
Yeah, the district pays.
For the district pays is $15,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that in the budget for next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
All
it's all in the budget. And then I know we're not supposed to do audience, but Ms. Taekwondo, how would families or students reach out about those scholarship opportunities? Because oftentimes my office does field trips and things like that. And I know if students need support, how would they reach out to get that support?
Actually, PBBC met with Mr. McMichael last
good,
week. So
good.
we are he's going to help us make sure that all of the counselors are aware of the application process and have applications available for students. All of the EPES club leaders, coaches, everybody's going to know about the program, so they'll be able to direct students to us. But we have to fundraise. And we're also interested in fundraising for that Wisconsin trip, because as you know, last year there were a lot more students wanted to go than the district was able to pay for. And we did get some help from the Princeton Children's Fund. And so, we're looking for allies all over town, but part of our real work is going to be fundraising over the course of the year. So that's it.
All right, well, have fun with that. Thank you, Michelle. Do we have anyone else for public comment? Hello.
Erica Snyder, Lawrenceville Road. So I'm a parent of 3 students at Community Park DLI program who are zoned for Johnson Park. We moved here in the summer of 2021 specifically for the DLI program. At the time we moved, the only house that fit our budget was not in the CP zone, and it was such a relief to know that our kids could still have the education that we valued the most in this community of dual language. Since it was the summer, we also would have missed the timeline that you all just approved and proposed for acceptance into the program if there were a lottery at the time my kids enrolled, which at the time there would have been a lottery with a 44 student cap for all 3 of mine. While I understand that the lottery will prioritize zone CP students, I ask that the board promptly updates the DLI kindergarten requirements online and any literature as well, and in communications with the other schools, especially for those who are not zoned for CP. Please be as transparent as possible on the website about those changes, as we know more and more of the population is moving to the areas that currently aren't zoned for CP. We also know that many of those areas also have slightly more affordable housing options. It would be a shame for people to miss out on this amazing program because of not understanding how the lottery changes might impact them based on their address, where there is inventory and possibly more affordable inventory, and the presumption that anyone in the district can have access to the program if they'd like, which is currently what the presumption is, and that is not the presumption moving forward. Families like myself would have been excluded, not knowing that in advance. And sometimes, your moves and your timelines and where you can buy and where you can rent, it's really not in your control. But this program is in your control, and the guidelines are in your control. And so I would like you to consider, what the exceptions might look like for those families who aren't here by May 1st and who aren't zoned for CP. It's just a way to try and make it more equitable and accessible to all of the students in our district who might want the program. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have anyone else? Go ahead. Just your name.
Oh, so I'm Alex.
And if you're a student, you don't have to tell us this.
Okay, so I'm Alex Ramirez and Alexander, and I would like to speak about Mr. Ferguson. So Mr. Ferguson to me was a very fun teacher to be around, and he would always come to class with his enthusiastic nature. And one thing that I remember about him was his, I would say, different approach to teaching mathematics that was unlike what I've ever had before in my other schools. And I just loved his energy and how he taught math. But another thing I want to talk about is that after he left, there was about a period of 2 or so weeks where there wasn't any teacher in our class and no math learning was being taught to us. And after that issue was resolved, Miss He, our teacher that decided to take over our class, taught for a week, but then she wasn't here last week too. So I'm very concerned about my math progression because we're about 3 weeks or so behind in the math curriculum compared to other classes. And I'm not sure what's going to happen if the same thing happens more or in the future. So what would happen to my math progress? So, and how would I catch up?
Thank you, Alexandra. Dr. Tu, would you just, you, again, this isn't a Q&A, but
Yeah.
we don't want to leave students hanging.
Yeah, of course. So I understand, Alex. So I would say there is tutoring available for Mr. Ferguson's classes, and if you're not sure of how to access that, I would either talk to your counselor or to your new math teacher and get you hooked up with that. I'm not sure what the situation was last week, but we can look into it to see maybe it was just illness. Things are going around. I hear you, and I know that talking with Miss Brennan, the supervisor of the math program, she and the teachers are working to see where your classes were, where the other like geometry, algebra, AP calculus classes were, and trying to align to make sure that there was a plan to get kids caught up who were in those classes. So I know it's not perfect, but please, I would say take advantage of that extra math support because we know that you guys missed instructional time. It's not your fault.
I'm sorry, do you mind coming up and just stating your name and the street you live on?
Hi, I'm Agnes. I'm the mom of Alex. So as I heard, there are 3 math teachers. They are absent at the same time. So we have 3 math teacher has some vacation or whatever. They're absent, and then 1 math teacher has been dismissed. So I think they're really short of math teachers. So they will affect not only my son. I think a lot of other students.
All right, thank you.
And excuse me. And another thing is there's the teacher just no math teacher in the math class for 2 or more weeks, and our parents never been notified. So we never know that until we ask the kids, hey, how about the situation about math class? And my kids told me, oh, we don't have any math teacher in our class. So how could it be possible? Because we have been relocation, we have here and there, so we have been involved in many different schools communities. We never encountered this kind of situation that no teacher in the class and in so many days and no notified to our parents. So but I think PHS is a really good school, and I think we have a quite supportive community. We can really solve this kind of situation with. I think we should work together, and the teachers, the parents, and the administrators, we work together. We need to find a solution. We just keep the high standard education for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Public comment? No. All right, moving on now to Mr. Bolden. It says the harassment, intimidation, bullying report is an action item. Is that correct?
No, it's consent.
Okay, great. Now moving on to the board committee reports, and we are going to start with equity. With Debbie.
So the Equity Committee met on Monday, February 12th. There were board members, administration, and community members, and we discussed what does equity feel like? What does equity look like? What does equity sound like? And where are we now at PPS? It was a really great conversation. We also spoke about our hopes and dreams around equity in the committee for kind of the next few months. Our next meeting is Monday, April 8th at 6 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's in this room. Well, we're still just, oh, okay. Anyway, it's April 8th at 6 p.m. Please stay tuned and hopefully you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Moving on to long-term planning, and as I see she put her glasses down, Beth will be giving the report.
Glasses on. I need my glasses. The Long-Term Facilities Planning Committee met in closed session on February 15th to hear updates from the district's professionals on refinements to demographic projections and architectural plans. Updated projections will be used to inform ongoing capacity planning and will take into consideration October 2023 enrollment numbers, updated information from town planners on new multifamily developments, and Princeton-specific data on public school students generated by significant local multifamily developments completed in recent years. The committee also heard briefly from the district's architects regarding ongoing refinements to proposed expansion and renovation projects at district schools, taking into consideration building team and parent feedback. The committee will meet again on February 29th and again on March 14th to continue review of these updates and refinements and looks forward to informing the full board and to providing answers to parent and other frequently asked questions in the weeks ahead. District demographers, architects, administrators, and building teams are working hard with a view towards having final proposed projects with supporting demographic updates ready for board consideration at the March 19th meeting.
Thank you, Beth. And thank you and the committee for all the work that you're doing. We appreciate it. All right, now moving on to operations. Mr. McDonald.
The Operations Committee met on Wednesday, February 15th at 8 in the morning. There are a few topics I'd like to briefly report on. First, the 2022 referendum. Significant work has been completed. Several projects remain for this summer. PHS and PMS roofing projects have kicked off with pre-construction meetings. The remaining elementary school roofing projects are also moving forward, and the elementary HVAC bid was awarded and is moving forward. With respect to the 2023 referendum, 4 items are on tonight's agenda to make awards. The first 3 are at the high school: the cafeteria, 2 security vestibules at the tower and PAC entrances, interior doors, and door hardware. The 4th project includes the security cameras and related equipment at all 6 schools. Of these 4 projects, 1 award is in line with the estimated budget and 3 are under budget. PHS training room renovation. This will proceed using grant monies and capital reserve funds and will result in a significantly upgraded space for the health of our student athletes and the return of 1 classroom. Bus purchases are on tonight's agenda. Most years we purchase 1 or 2 new buses to replace ones that are required by law to be retired. On the agenda tonight is the purchase of 3 buses, 2 replacements, and 1 new bus needed for the pre-K program. We discussed sustainability with Jenny Ludmer from Sustainable Princeton, who always joins us for this part of the discussion. We have applied to the EPA Clean School Bus Program to purchase 2 new buses, electric buses, in the future. The winter break shutdown energy efficiency campaign was successful, with 4 schools reducing energy usage by more than 10% compared to last year. The district is working with the municipality to determine if we have suitable green space to support a microforest that is a town goal. Our last 2 topics were the budget, where the committee continued preliminary discussions in closed session, and playground planning. The committee discussed how to move these projects forward as available funding is determined. Mr. Bolden informed us that he plans to hire an outside professional to lead and oversee the playground projects. Our next meeting is March 6th at 8 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Moving on now to personnel, right?
Personnel met on Thursday, February 8th, and tonight you will be asked to approve a job description for a system engineer in the technology department. This is not a new position. The employee has left that job, but it's been tweaked to add some requirements that technology feels are needed in the department. There was a job fair for aides, and unfortunately no one showed up. So if anyone is out there listening, wants to work for the district, please call us. HR has received a bunch of resumes for the HR position and more information to follow on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. And Beth is putting her glasses back on, so it must be time for the policy report. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do policy now.
Thank you.
The policy committee met on February 7th. We continued discussions with the Director of Guidance, John McMichael, regarding a proposed addition to Policy 5600, Student Discipline Code of Conduct, to reflect current district practice with respect to non-disclosure of student behavioral infractions to post-secondary institutions. The committee considered advice of counsel and proposed changes to the policy that are up for first read tonight. We moved policies and regulations regarding mandatory school threat assessment teams and attendance requirements on to second read tonight. The committee discussed the annual board calendar and briefly touched on a number of topics that may appear on the committee agenda in the months ahead. The committee next meets at 3:45 p.m. on February 7th. Nope. That's wrong. In March. I don't have the date exactly. And the public is welcome to attend.
All right.
Thank you.
That'll be on the district calendar.
It'll be on the district calendar.
Thank you, Beth. And then moving on now to student achievement with Betsy.
Thank you. And policy is March 6th. Thank you. There you go. Thank goodness for cell phone calendars.
And is that on Zoom or in person?
On Zoom. Student Achievement met on February 9th at 11 a.m. on Zoom. Lauren Samara joined us to talk about her K-5 interventionist role and how she's supporting her students at the elementary level. We heard from Tiffany Brennan, the 6th through 12th supervisor of mathematics, about the middle school math lab, which is a new program that has been brought back under a different name to our middle school to help support students who need a little bit more time in math with their own math teachers. We appreciate their work. Dr. Tu shared planned field trips at the K-8 level, which is often a topic of interest for all students and their families. So we thank Dr. Tu for, after these years where not as many field trips happen, we're bringing them back and we're looking at them holistically. We also reviewed school recess guidance. We had a few questions regarding when students were going out for recess, what the temperature needed to be, and all of our schools follow the same protocol. Also, I just want to note N2 on our agenda this evening is something we spoke about in closed session. There are a few revisions to the program of studies. We have changed some prerequisites for the physics C classes. We've just noted them in there, and then also clarified that there is a waiver process. This is course registration time already for the next school year. So we invite parents to look at page 12 of the program of studies for information on our waiver process. And we thank all of our staff members for making that transparent for our families. Our next meeting is Friday, March 8th at 11 a.m. on Zoom.
All right, thank you, Betsy. Any questions from the board? Nope. Nope. All right, and so we're going to move on. Again, please stop me if you have something to say. So L1, policies for first reading. L2, policies for second reading. I'm going ahead of myself here. Second reading. Then M1, resignations. And then we have M2, retirements. And who's going first? Who has Kathleen? Okay.
I'd like to speak to Kathleen Bahunik, who's retiring after 23 years of service to our district. Nurses might see kids when they're physically ill, injured, or need support for mental health, especially at a middle school. It's important to have someone who is kind and compassionate, like Kathleen is, someone who establishes a rapport easily with both students and staff, like Kathleen does. So I know I speak for the board in thanking Kathleen for her 23 years of care of our kids in the district and wish her well on a well-deserved retirement.
Thank you, Susan.
And I'd love to say a few words about Mary Gutierrez, who is retiring as a first grade teacher at Community Park. One of my sons was lucky enough to be in her classroom. I just want to thank Mary for her kindness and her care and the true love of reading that she has, that she imparted to our students. So Mary, we wish you a wonderful retirement.
Thank you, Betsy. And I have the honor to say a few words about Val Ulrich. Val came to our district as the principal over at Riverside. She moved over to Valley Road and became first the supervisor of special projects. And then as we have expanded, as we've taken advantage of the state of New Jersey's commitment to pre-K, she has overseen the expansion of our program to over 100 kids across a variety of locations. Val has been looking forward to retirement. She's got 2 boys, but I also understand she's going to be going back and enhancing her education. So we wish Val all the best and a long and healthy retirement. She really made a difference in our district, and we're grateful for her contributions. And I would like to say about all 3, that's 46 years of experience that is retiring, and we wish them all the best.
Yeah, I'd also just like to say that I had the privilege of working with Valerie for the last 8 years, and also kind of she came to Riverside, I think, right when I was leaving Riverside, and then I watched her come over to the district, and she did all sorts of incredibly creative and additive work as a grants person, and was just a very wonderful person to work with and accomplished so many things for our students. And I think she'll be missed very much.
Thank you, Beth. All right. So moving on, M3 appointments, M4 transfer reassignment, M5 personnel item, M6, leave of absence. M7, substitutes. M8, curriculum and instruction. M9, student services. M10, 6-period compensation. M11 is that job description that Debbie was mentioning. Moving on to N1, purchase of preschool furniture and supplies. And N2, the PHS program of studies revision that Betsy mentioned. Moving on now to O1, educational placement of students. 2, special education agreement. 3, solely in health. 04, professional consulting services revised. Moving on to the business, P1, financial reports. P2, fire and evacuation drills. P3, the purchase of buses that Mr. McDonald mentioned. And then we have the submission of the long-range facility plan to the New Jersey Department of Education for approval. And then we have the formal bid awards for the security vestibules at PHS that Mr. McDonald mentioned. And we have the interior door replacement at PMS. And what do we have? P7 is the formal bid award for the cafeteria. P8 is the security camera contract award. And I would like to just thank the community again for their support of our referendums that is enabling us to make these security enhancements in our school. M9, we have strategic communication services. M10, registration travel agenda. All right, moving on to our last public comment. Is there anyone?
I just had a question.
Sure.
Just one of the reasons I'm here, unfortunately, I've never shown up before.
See
Franklin
what-
area, Little Brook Road.
See what you're missing?
Little Brook Road North.
Yeah.
There are 2.
Yeah.
And I've applied for a substitute teacher, so I was just told, like, come on this day. This is the day that they're, like, I guess, approve stuff, say yay or nay, whatever. I'm looking forward to it. My kids said I should have been doing it a lot.
Thank you.
My kids said I should have been doing it a lot earlier. So I'm looking forward to help out as I can. I've been a stay-at-home dad for 20 years, and it's about time I get out of the house. So I don't know if it was like during the.
Oh, let me see. Let me check. You would be, so you're going to be under 7 substitutes. Let's see, Franklin. Oh, yes, there you are. Number 3, substitute for the district, 221 to 630 at a daily rate of $115 is what we're paying our substitutes. I hope they put you over at Little Brook so you don't have a long commute. His property backs up to Little Brook.
I'm not sure I can go back to that yet.
No? All right.
I'll still do it sometimes, but
all right.
I'll definitely still do it sometimes. Well, it is right behind my house, so makes it convenient.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be eco-friendly and everything, but wherever you want to go, I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
we appreciate
I have the school systems have been great. I have one daughter that's already graduated, another one that's going to graduate this year, and the school system's been absolutely fantastic. I got one son that will be in the high school next year, but thank you for all the tough work that you guys do.
Thank you, Franklin. And we're sorry that someone told you had to sit through the meeting to get appointed. I'm sorry that someone told you had to come to the meeting tonight.
Oh, no, they didn't say. I was trying to get to learn how everything works,
Yeah.
like behind the scenes, I mean, they didn't make me come.
Yeah, all right, good. Because, some people like to play pranks on people, so,
No, nobody made me come, but
All
I'm
right.
just kind of curious as to how it's done, and then, okay, maybe not make tea times if I'm going to be tutoring. I'm subbing. Thank you.
Well, maybe you can take the kids with you, but thank you. Thanks for coming. All right.
Can I just
Yep. Yep. wait.
Actually, I had one more piece of business, which is just to let the community know tonight's been a great celebration of our students. Let's keep it going. There's a gospel festival Friday night at the high school. The choirs are performing 7:30 on Friday, February 23rd. The middle school, our esteemed director was here tonight. Miss Cameron was in the audience. Princeton Middle School is doing Mary Poppins. That is March 7th through 10th. And then our high school is performing Beauty and the Beast, March 14th through 16th. So we welcome not only families within the district, but our entire community. Come and see what students are doing. And there are many other things happening in the district, so stay tuned.
All right. Thank you, Betsy.
Yeah, I think the Asian Festival is March 8th.
March 7th, I think.
Okay, sorry, 7th. Yeah, and that's at the high school.
Yes, and that's 7 to 9.
Okay.
8 to 9, there will be no charge, and 8 to 9, there will be performances, I believe. Yes,
You said March 7th.
March 7th.
Okay, great.
Because I have 5 things to do that night, including a swim meet. That's all right. I'm going to.
March 8th. You're right, Debbie.
March 8th. Ooh, my bad. March
Yeah.
8th.
See, 4 nights, 4 things to do.
7. Yep. All right. And now moving on to that consent agenda that everyone wants to vote for. Can I please get a motion? Susan, second. Mara?
Daphne Kendall,
Yes.
Betsy Baglio,
Yes.
Beth Baron,
Yes.
Adam Bierman,
Yes.
Debbie Ronfeld,
Yes.
Mara Franceschi,
Yes.
Eleanor Hubbard,
Yes.
Susan Cantor,
Yes.
Brian McDonald,
Yes.
Rob Christopher.
Yes.
Consent agenda passes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bolden. All right. And with that, this is 5 after 9. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Mara, second. Betsy. All in favor? All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.